Greetings loyal subscribers and honoured guests. After last issue's rather sad excuse for a power pack, I really hope we're back to something at least half decent this time. In terms of quantity, it's an improvement at least, with 5 offerings to muck about with. Let's see if there are any good, shall we? Both Stormlord and its sequel Deliverance can be found on this tape, but weirdly, Deliverance has been put first. I always plough through the contents of these tapes in the order I find them, so it is what it is. Deliverance sees you playing as the same character from Stormlord in his continuing platform adventures to rid the land of evil, or maybe just make it nice cup of tea. His motives are a bit vague. The game took a while to load, but there was some lovely music to listen to, which is rare for power packs. Anyway, you may be aware that these games were a little bit controversial at the time, because they featured fairies and pixies in various states of undress in the background, which is all rather tame by today's standards. How does the game play though? I found it incredibly hard to get used to the jump in this game. You can press it multiple times to get over objects, but with my joystick it proved quite a challenge, and I was unable to make much progress. So I would say the game is a little on the tough side, but as I didn't get very far, I hesitate to judge it too harshly. There are some nicely drawn graphics though, and the music is fantastic. Matt Gray is one of my favourite C64 composers anyway. If you can get past the tricky controls, there's probably a decent game in there, so check it out for yourself. Before we get on to Stormlord, which I'm hoping will be a bit easier to play than Deliverance, we have Chrome Brothers. This is the first of 3 submissions from a coding group called Sensible Software, who it turns out is not the same studio that gave us classics like Whizball and Cannon Fodder, but a different bunch from New Zealand. Chrome Brothers is actually pretty cool. You control this little dude and make your way up the screen via ladders, while avoiding hazards like spikes, boulders, knives and angry little men throwing bombs. Along the way you collect stuff like boomboxes and PC monitors for points. The animation is really nice and it controls well too. It could have used a bit of music because the game was a bit quiet without any, though there were some adequate sound effects. A decent effort all in all that is easy to pick up and play. Now we go back to the game that came out before Deliverance, Stormlord. This one was a lot easier to control, the jump actually worked properly, and the game is slightly less harshly designed than the sequel. I was still rubbish at it though, and didn't make much progress really. Visually it's similar to Deliverance, but not quite as detailed, and the music is also just like that of the follow-up. I actually had a vague idea what to do in this one because I had seen the blokes from Continue play the Mega Drive version, such as using honey to get past the bees. I had no idea how to actually use the honey once I'd collected it though, so I still ended up dying. The 2 games in this series are quite highly regarded, so I have no doubt that it's me being rubbish rather than the fault of the games, though the jumping problem is a little strange. Maybe with the help of a guide I could learn to enjoy them. Now we're back to the Sensible Software New Zealand offerings and a game called Alien Smash. I'm 99% certain that this one was made with Souk, but it's still pretty good fun to play. You're a little grey man who runs up the screen and blasts grey aliens. Yes, there's not a lot of colour variation going on. It suffers from the usual lack of depth that most games made with Souk suffer from, such as no power-ups and bosses that eventually run out of animation and then just sit there waiting to be shot to death. Fun for a few minutes though. The final item on this power pack, also from those Kiwi coders, is called Fire Eagle. It's another Souk game, and I think I'm starting to see what's happened here. The chap who made these games, Martin Edwards, credited Sensible Software as the programmers within the games as they made shoot 'em up construction kit. Then Commodore Format got confused and thought there was another team called Sensible Software. Anyway, that's getting a bit off topic. Fire Eagle is decent enough but does very little to set it apart from all of many other Souk offerings that have featured on power packs by this point. That brings us to the end of another tape. While Stormlord and Deliverance are the heavy hitters in terms of reputation, I actually enjoyed Chrome Brothers the most. The animation was charming and the gameplay simple yet fun. Overall a big improvement over the last tape, but the Souk games are starting to get more than a little bit samey. I hope we get something different next time. I'll see you again in 2 weeks' time. In the meantime, take care.